We are at that very special point in the death spiral of Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party where you don't even need to go on social media anymore to a conservative account or a conservative activist account to find funny videos of Liberal MPs embarrassing themselves. You can just go to the Liberal MPs' own accounts, find the clips that they edited, and make fun of them with those things. They don't have anything to actually market themselves to Canadians with, and so they just post clips of them having these really petty tiffs with conservative MPs that they started because they don't want to answer any questions, and they're going to pretend to be all high and mighty and superior to these conservative MPs trying to do their jobs. But this is a clip that Sean Fraser, our current housing minister and failed former immigration minister, posted to his own X account, and I do not think that this makes him look very good. It just makes him look very like whiny and petty.
This is a study about the housing needs of Indigenous communities across this country. It has been a few minutes, and the Conservatives are now resorting to reading questions off their phone, off topic, because they feel like they can't have a serious conversation about this issue.
Let's be very clear. The context of the questions they were asking were housing. He has not answered any questions, any serious questions about the failed housing program the Liberals have been running. And now he wants to come into this meeting where they're talking specifically about housing in Indigenous communities. And when the Conservatives rightfully want to ask the questions that he has not been answering over the past several months, he wants to get all smug and superior and get into this petty tiff worth like, oh, well, it's been a few minutes and now they don't want to talk about Indigenous housing. I guess they don't care about Indigenous people or something. No, you're bad at your job, and they need to find any opportunity they can get in order to ask the serious questions that you keep dodging. But he wants to pretend like, oh, look at the Conservatives reading things off their phones. You're bad at your job. How about you shut up and answer some questions rather than pretending like you're getting one over on the Conservatives by pointing out that they're using a tactic? This happens in politics a lot, where people think it's a great little comms win to point out that your opponent's doing something. But the Conservatives are doing the right thing. They're trying to hold your feet to the fire for being a terrible housing minister. And then you're going to try and look at the technicality that, well, technically we're here to talk about Indigenous housing. And you guys want to ask me off-topic questions from your phone. Who cares? They are in the housing committee asking you questions about housing, and you're dodging. And you just uploaded a 2.5-minute clip onto your own social media account of you dodging.
He's not going to answer, sir. I want to reclaim my time. If he is just going
make the investments and chose not to. Sorry, Mr. Chair, I'm being spoken over. Every time I make this argument, he talks over me. Do I have the floor?
I'm not going to let him take my time.
Mr. Chair, do I have the floor?
You have the floor.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, with respect to my friend and colleague, he had many years as his party in office to make investments or not make investments.
Housing was cheaper. Housing was cheaper under Harper. What is Sean Fraser possibly talking about? The idea that we're making the investments the Conservatives wouldn't make. I hate it when politicians say, well, we put the money in and they didn't. You only have to put the money in now because you've broken people so much that they can't afford it themselves. This is basically the metric that like communists work off of to pretend that their ideology is more compassionate than capitalism, even though they're, in their governments, they run around like shooting people in the back of the head for disagreeing with them. But it's because they spend more money on the people. Yet, capitalists, they aren't spending money on any poor people. That's because people aren't poor in capitalism. But as the Liberals move away from capitalism during their entire tenure in government, we, turns out, need to assist people more with government benefits, housing benefits, and investments in these communities because people don't have their own money anymore because the Liberals have taxed it away, regulated it away, or found some other scheme that made it so that our economy has shriveled up under Trudeau's leadership. Ooh, I just want to get this back on screen. I'll let Sean Fraser finish just to be respectful here.
This housing, they chose not to. Now he has an opportunity to ask questions about it, and instead he's looking at his phone to ask questions he's reading from the leader's office rather than actually engaging on the issue of housing in Indigenous communities. It's inappropriate.
Well, Chair,
with respect, he says we have no plan, and again, he's talking over. He's very uncomfortable with this argument.
Oh my goodness, it's so cheesy. He just needs a handlebar mustache to make this even cheesier. Oh, he's uncomfortable by the topic because he doesn't want to talk about it. No, you don't answer questions. That's why he's asking you. And the idea that he's trying to have this weird, I don't even know what to call it, Goodwill Hunting moment. He's trying to have this kind of smug, superior, type moment where he's going to show that actually I'm the serious adult and it's all these partisan hacks in the room who won't let me have my time to make a statement in favor of Indigenous housing. Indigenous people are poorer since Justin Trudeau took office. So I don't know what Sean Fraser's trying to brag about. As immigration minister, he was warned by his own deputy minister that the crazy high mass migration rate was hurting Canadian workers, was making it impossible to own a home, and he did it anyways. But now he's here to tell the Conservatives that, did you know that we're talking about Indigenous housing in this committee, if you haven't noticed. Sean, shut up. You're like a more boring version of Justin Trudeau. This play acting is not working at all.
He says we have no plan.
Mr.
Chair, do I have the floor?
Chair, I want to reclaim my
Mr. Chair, do I have the floor?
Do I have the floor?
Do I have the floor?
This is not answering my question. He doesn't get to.
Mr. Chair, sorry, there's been no point of order. Do I have the floor?
You do have the floor.
Thank you. I have respected my colleague while he was speaking. I would appreciate if he would return the professional courtesy. He suggested we don't have a plan. We literally published a plan in April of this year. He may think it's foreign because the plan that he put forward as a party has no measures in it that will actually build more homes.
Well, he might think a Liberal plan is foreign because of all the foreign interference that the Liberals allow for. But why is this a good moment? Because again, Sean Fraser, he's not rolling out all of his achievements. He's not rolling out his achievements on social media, telling you how many more houses were built this year than last year, because the amount of new houses being started is going down. The affordability of housing has sunk through the floor. Housing is completely unaffordable because of the mass immigration that he approved of. And now Mark Miller, our current even crappier immigration minister, is increasing and now trying to give amnesty to people who overstayed their temporary foreign worker visas and student visas, and they should be rightfully not allowed to stay because that is committing a crime to knowingly stay in the country past when you were supposed to leave. But the fact that this is what he has to hang his hat on. Oh, I got the chair to give me back my time. Oh, I got the chair to yield to me, the Liberal chair to yield to me instead of my Conservative colleague, my Conservative opponent. If this is considered a win to you, Sean, dude, you might as well, you must cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs, because that is he sees losing as winning. I don't know why or who this appeals to. Who's watching this thing? What a great bit. What a great little shtick Sean Fraser just did there. I want to see what his, surprisingly, he has a good like to dislike ratio, but honestly, it's probably because so few people have seen this clip that it's only Liberal Party activists and bots liking it. I don't even know what to say. That's all I can say, really, is just look at that video. Does that appeal to you? Does this seem like a winning government, or does it seem like a government who can only get technical wins? Ooh, I got my time back from the chair. Ooh, I get to point out the Conservative had his phone up. They're beating you by 20 points. I want to see Sean Fraser's riding right now. Oh, sorry, voice crack right there. I need to see if this guy has a chance of winning. If he does, I've lost faith in this country, because Sean Fraser is boring Trudeau. He is somehow a dumber version of Justin Trudeau. And oh my goodness, please don't be somebody who can still win. Don't do this to me. Oh my goodness, he said so many. He has said so many positions. It's embarrassing how many positions they've given this guy. You can tell they want to turn him into the second coming of Justin Trudeau if Justin Trudeau decides to not run again. But if you've seen the approval ratings of Sean Fraser, it's embarrassing that they keep building him up and giving him screen time, and either people don't know who he is or think he's an idiot. So Central Nova, this is the 338 projections. Yay. They are projecting the Conservatives to win 49% of this riding, with Sean Fraser only getting 32% of the vote. It is a more than 99% chance of the Conservatives winning back this riding. This used to be Peter MacKay's riding, so I guess this was to be expected. But I'm going to end the video off on that good news, just quickly mentioning the fact that I, Wyatt Claypool, am running for the Calgary Signal Hill Conservative Party nomination. I'm still waiting to get the official lists, and it's been a bit annoying seeing my opponent, Jeremy Nixon, have the lists for more than a week and a half now. But we'll make do, making videos in the meantime. So if you live in this riding, there's 4,800 members who live in this area. I assume a lot of you have seen my channel or watched my channel. So if you're a member, a federal Conservative Party member in the riding of Signal Hill, please vote for me number 1 on your ballot. Vote for Michael Kim number 2. He's also a decent pick, and I'll probably roll out a full list of who I'd vote for if I was not in the race. And then also, you can donate to my legal fund, linked in the description below, just the Give, Send, Go link. We have a Chinese billionaire developer suing us for defamation. And after this case has been ongoing for more than 2.5 years, he's not only not submitted any evidence that would show defamation, he's even had to pay us $1,800 at one point during the case because he wasn't submitting anything. He did eventually submit evidence, but it was like his LinkedIn profile and like the original libel notice he sent, nothing that actually contained any evidence in it at all. He's just throwing paperwork at us, hopefully trying to hurt us enough that we would apologize to him. But at the National Telegraph, we don't apologize to people for complete nonsense. And so we've been fighting it out in court. He assumed that I was 22 at the time this lawsuit started. He could bully me into giving him a fake apology. But despite the fact our guest writer didn't even say anything bad about him directly, we just linked to a long investigation about him. That was enough to try and sue us and bully us into giving him an apology so he can pretend anything ever negative said about him is completely false and defamatory, when it's not at all. He was just suing the person he thought had the least amount of money to defend themselves, but we pulled through anyways. Thank you for everyone who's donated so far. The TNT Telegram channel link is also in the description below, and I'll see you guys all next time.